Nothing fancy going on here, all purely practical things for childbirth are in my hospital bag. Hello everyone, it's Amanda with Eat Pray Crunch, and wonder of wonders, I am actually getting my hospital bag video filmed. And I am hoping that I am able to get it edited before I go into labor. I am now 38 and a half weeks pregnant. I might even be 39 weeks by the time this video gets up, we'll see. And I am finally done. Everything is officially packed up in my hospital bag, and I had a number of you express interest in me going over what was in my hospital bag. Nothing fancy going on here, all purely practical things for childbirth are in my hospital bag, and somewhat minimalist, although I probably overpacked a little bit. But even still, I just wanted to bring all things that would be helpful during my labor that they wouldn't necessarily have in the hospital setting where I'm going to be. So that is what I have. What we did was we split it up into two different suitcases, and there's this one, and I'll show you the next one in a minute. But one of them has our like personal items and clothing for me, Bill, and baby, and I also have my like postpartum and like nursing type stuff in here as well. And then in the other bag I have all of my labor aids, all of the other miscellaneous stuff like my cameras, my birth plan, you know, just all those like logistical kinds of things we are putting in that suitcase. We're reserving that suitcase also for putting in the last minute things, which we made a list for as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. So anyway, but first of all, I wanted to go through our personal items. What I did was just packed mostly off the top of my head what I could think of that I might need. And I actually pulled out my Mama Natural book, the Mama Natural Week by Week Guide to Pregnancy and Childbirth. And in her chapter on week 37, she talks about what to pack in your hospital bag for a more naturally minded birth, which I'll be doing a little bit of both since I'm probably going to be laboring naturally, at least for the first half of my birth, and then I plan on getting an epidural for the second half, or at least the last third. Granted, my labor could go really, really fast this time. I talked all about that in my video where I explain why I'm doing a hospital birth. I will link that here. So it's entirely possible that I might have an entirely natural labor for the third time. It's just hard to predict, but if it goes at a reasonable pace, my plan is to try an epidural this time. Anyway, let's open this puppy up and I will show you what's inside. This is just one of our regular suitcases, you guys, like truly nothing fancy. We're just all about being practical here. As you guys know, we're very frugal, and I saw no need to go out and buy some sort of like fancy designer bag just to take to the hospital. Like, I've seen YouTube videos where people do that, and I'm like, that's just something that I don't understand. Like, this is like 2 nights in the hospital, and it's a hospital. So we just have our regular luggage that we're using. But of course, that's just my opinion. So anyway, on this outside part, I just have basic diapers and wipes for baby. Now, we are planning on cloth diapering, mostly even from the beginning once we get home, but we wanted to just have a few disposables just while we're in the hospital, and I know that the hospital will provide those as well. So I just wanted to have a couple of backups. I don't even have that many. It's not even that many wipes. It's just backup. So those are in there. And then when we get home, I'm planning to start cloth diapering. In the back pocket of our suitcase is my like postpartum pocket. So I'll show you what's in there. I don't want to pull them all out, but I just have my always like ultra overnight maxi pads. I know the hospital will be giving me those as well. These are my favorites though, and I find them the most comfortable. I just wanted to have these on hand. I know the hospital will probably also give me one of these, but this is left over from my last birth, my little Perry bottle. And if you guys have given birth before, you know what this is for. You basically use it instead of toilet paper for the first week or so after you give birth. Because, you know, after you push an entire little human being out of your body, things can be a little stretched and torn and uncomfortable sometimes. So that's what that's for. I just wanted to have that on hand. They'll probably have one, but it doesn't hurt to bring that. And along those same lines, I also have my Earth Mama Angel Baby Mama Bottom Balm. This is actually left over from my last birth, and this is also for soothing things post-birth. And then I also have, I mentioned this in one of my last videos as well, since I can feel that I have such a huge ab separation happening in this pregnancy, which I've had in my previous ones as well, but I feel like this is the worst it's been. I can like feel it separating. It's been bad. I'm planning on bringing my belly bandit to the hospital with me and wearing it immediately postpartum. You know, within the first 24 hours I want to start wearing this thing. If you guys don't know what a belly bandit is, it's just this big kind of elastic band that you put around your belly, and it just has Velcro that, you know, and you can adjust it to wherever's most comfortable. I actually got this at the children's consignment shop. I think I got it before my daughter Sophie was born, actually. I have this one, and I have, which is a size medium, and I also have a size small for once things really start shrinking down even more. But I'm bringing obviously the bigger size, since right after you give birth, at least I look like I am still 6 months pregnant. That's what that is for, to just help immediately start healing that diastasis recti, or separation of my abdominals. And then the last thing I have in that pocket is just nipple cream, because I am planning on breastfeeding again. And this is just one that, you know, the basic Lancino. I know different people have different preferences for what kind they use. I've always been really happy with this. It's just plain lanolin, which is really natural. It actually comes from sheep, interestingly enough. It's like the oil that their glands produce to make their wool waterproof, but it has a lot of healing properties. It's really natural. It's safe for mama, safe for baby, and just helping to prevent cracked nipples in, you know, the initial week of pain and soreness that can come when you are getting breastfeeding going. And that is it for my like little postpartum pocket. And then in my bag on top I have my toiletries. So I have 3 little pouches. There's actually another one that is my husband's, but it's not in here because he has it laid out to put his toothbrush and his deodorant, like that kind of thing, at the very last minute. But I always have this little bag. I mean, I've had this thing for over a decade. I got it at REI a long time ago, and it's just what I carry all of my travel size toiletries in. And I always try and keep it stocked, so I don't even have to think when I'm packing it. I just throw the thing in there, and it has everything I need in it. I can just basically go over what's in it. The nice thing about this, you know, everything you get at REI is so practical. It has a little hook, so you can hang it on like a bathroom hook or whatever, so you don't have to set it on a gross surface, you know. Or if there's limited space, it's nice to just hang it on the wall. So I have like hair supplies. In the top pocket I have like moisturizing things. I have lotion, Vaseline, face cream, that kind of thing. And in the bottom, I'm not even going to pull all this stuff out because there's just too many little things. But it's basically, you know, my toothbrush and toothpaste, floss, and all of my makeup is in there. I'm not planning by any means getting all dolled up for my labor and postpartum, but I do want to feel, you know, somewhat human after going through the process of labor and just having a little bit of makeup to freshen up. Plus I just carry this in my travel bag anyway. So that's my basic toiletries bag. And then I also have one toiletries bag that's just a little bit bigger. My aunt shops at Clinique a lot, and she's always giving me these little like giveaway bags that she doesn't want or doesn't need. And so I'm like, great, I use them for travel. It's awesome. So in here is just all of the like bigger items that I would need, like bigger toiletries, that kind of thing. For example, I am bringing my natural primal pit paste deodorant. I'm actually using a crystal deodorant most of the time at home, but I prefer to just bring this with me because it's a little easier to use on the go. And I just have like my glasses and my glasses case, contact holder, contact solution, you know, the basics. I wear a bite guard at night, so I'm putting that in there. I have hairbrush, shampoo and conditioner, so hair stuff. I have my curly hair gel. I use my Kinky Curly Curling Custard. So it's small, so I can easily fit that in there. And face wash, just kind of the basics I would need for bathing. I know that they have showers there, and I probably am going to want to take a shower soon after giving birth. So I just wanted to have my own shower supplies. And then another one of these little freebie pouches that my aunt gave me. I put like my vitamins and supplements and medications in here. I just like having it all in one place, contained really easily. Now there are some things that I just, you know, always have in my travel bag on the go, so I don't even have to think. This is like my little travel pouch. So this has first aid, like band-aids and ointment, has ibuprofen and like antacid and like anti-diarrhea, you know, stuff that you need when you're traveling. I just keep that in there all the time. And since it is cold and flu season, I actually mentioned this stuff in a video that I made last year during flu season, but they're elderberry lozenges, and elderberry really helps prevent colds and flu, that kind of thing, when you take it on a regular basis. And these are just so easy to use. There's just this little roll of these little lozenges. They just dissolve in your mouth, and since it is cold and flu season and we're going to be around a newborn and we're going to be in a hospital, like I just want to have my immunity up. And then I put all of my vitamins and supplements all into this one little container. Because worst case scenario, if I have to have a C-section for whatever reason, unlikely, but if I do, you have to stay in the hospital for what, 3 or 4 days, something like that, right? So I just wanted to have, you know, a 3 or 4 days supply of my vitamins and supplements. So this includes my prenatal, I take fish oil, I've been taking an iron supplement during pregnancy, and a B vitamin. And then I also have my medications. I've mentioned in most of my other videos what I take medications for. I have hypothyroidism, so I have to take a thyroid hormone replacement every single morning. I've been doing it for years now. I don't even think about it. It's not even a big deal to me anymore. But that was something I developed after my first pregnancy. So I have my thyroid medication. I did a whole video talking about why I take an anti-anxiety medication, and I have been taking this my whole pregnancy. I made a whole video just on the topic of taking anti-anxiety medication during pregnancy. I will link that here if you haven't seen it. It's a really low dose, but I have been continuing to take it through this pregnancy, and it has worked out beautifully. So I'm bringing that with me. And the last thing is I also have pregnancy-induced asthma. I have talked about this in my updates, and this is just the little inhaler that they give me, and I just mostly do this at night right before bed, just because when I lay down, especially when I'm this pregnant, I get into these coughing fits. And it's really weird because I have never had asthma in my life, but for whatever reason I developed it in pregnancy, and this is a pregnancy safe asthma inhaler. So that's what that is. Hopefully after I give birth it will get better, but I want to have it on hand just in case so I'm not getting into coughing fits in the middle of the night. So that's what's in my little vitamins and supplements and medications bag. And then onto clothes. And I'm not going to show Bill's clothes. He literally packed his portion in like 2 minutes. Such a typical man-woman thing, right? He just has like a pair of jeans, a pair of shorts, a couple shirts, underwear, and socks. That's all he has. And that's it. And like I said, he'll throw his toothbrush in at the last minute. So that's what my husband has in this bag. I have just a little bit more packed in this bag for me. First of all, what I have is this laboring gown, and I wore this when I was in labor last time. My friend Katie actually gave this to me at my baby shower when I was pregnant with my daughter. I think I mentioned in my birth plan that I was planning on wearing this instead of the, you know, linen hospital gown. You know, those things are so ugly and scratchy, but this is really soft cotton, and it's made just for laboring, and I'm excited I get to use it one more time because this thing is comfy. They have these little straps here so that you can attach it in such a way that it's really easy to like open up and get access for checks, but it keeps you modest, it keeps you covered, keeps you warm, and it's just really comfortable. Actually, if you wear it after baby arrives too, it opens up really easy just to the chest area for breastfeeding and for doing like skin to skin, that kind of thing. This is a really great birthing gown. If I could find this on Amazon if you guys are interested in getting your own birthing gown. and I will link that in the description below. And if I do spend any time in the tub, in the water, I don't want to be going around just completely topless. I mean, maybe I will, because when I'm in labor, all modesty just goes completely out the window and you just utterly don't care anymore. But especially since I'm going to be trying to film this, I have, it's not even fully like a bra, but it's just like a really light half cami is what you would call it. And so I have that if I would like to be in the water during my labor. And I also just have a regular black cami. If I need an extra one, I just have this one on hand. And I also just have a regular one of these pregnancy belly bands. I'm fully planning on wearing maternity pants away from the hospital because, like I said, after I give birth I still look like I'm 6 months pregnant, so I'm gonna still be wearing maternity pants. But this just helps keep my maternity pants up and keeps them from sliding down, especially because my belly will be a little smaller and so it just helps keep things up. And I just have a lightweight jacket because everyone says it can be really cold in the hospital, and it's also fall, so this is just one of my maternity little hoodies. When we leave, it'll probably be chilly outside, so just wanted to have a little jacket on hand. Now, I'm not going to entirely unfold these because I have them like neatly packed in here, but basically what I have is these are just like some simple comfortable leggings for sleeping in, and I'm keeping those with my tank tops so that I can have comfortable sleepwear. And then I just have a couple of outfits that I can, you know, either wear just for taking pictures purposes and also for leaving the hospital. So I have one here, I have just a pair of black leggings, and this is just a long tunic to go with it. And I also have, alternatively, just a pair of my maternity skinny jeans and a black long sleeve shirt to go with it. And in this pile I just have warm fuzzy socks because everyone says, you know, keep your feet warm at the hospital. I actually happen to have my own little fuzzy socks. They're like literally fuzzy on the inside, so they're really comfy, and they have the little grippies on the bottom, which are good so you don't slip on the slippery hospital floor. And then just a couple pairs of my regular socks as well. And I won't show you my granny panty undies that I have for postpartum. Basically it's just cotton underwear, you know, like one of the biggest sizes I have because I'll be wearing a giant pad after giving birth. I have those in there as well. I have 3 pairs of underwear, and that is it in terms of my clothes. And then I have a couple of items for baby, and then that's it for this suitcase. I brought basically 2 outfits and 2 like little jammies for baby. These are all ones that my son wore before, so it was so nostalgic to pull these out, and I put them together as an outfit. So this is a onesie, little pants, and some socks to go with them. And then I also have one extra outfit here, which is just the little pants and the little onesie. I actually have a little newborn hat and have a little hat to go with that sleeper. And just the last thing is, this is actually the very first outfit that my son wore after he was born, so it's so nostalgic. But it's this little monkey outfit. It has little monkeys on the feet and a little monkey butt. It's so cute. So I just wanted to have that available for Bam Bam when he arrives, and he will probably wear one of these little sleepers home just because it is October and I want him to be warm. Especially this one is so nostalgic, and just my son wore it, my daughter wore it, and it's just kind of cool that he gets to wear it now. And last but not least, in this bag I have just a couple of burp cloths. All of these were from my previous kids, and I do have a couple of the hand mitts, an extra pair of infant socks, and this cute little infant hat just as a spare. It's a little apple. I think it's just so cute. So that is it in terms of that bag. All right, you guys, and then for the other bag, which is all the labor related things, photography related things, practical miscellaneous stuff bag. This is the bag. It is like the other one, nothing very fancy, just my normal suitcase. I will show you what is inside this one. And right here, this is our list of things that we need to remember to get going out the door. You know, just a reminder to grab our toothbrushes and like my contacts and glasses, you know, just practical stuff like that. And then I also have this, which is information about releasing my placenta from the hospital since I'm doing placenta encapsulation. It has a list of all the like client responsibilities and things that we need to know in terms of releasing my placenta from the hospital. So I just wanted to have this printed out so that my husband can see it, my doula can see it, my mom can see it, so that they can know, you know, to remind the staff, like, yes, she's keeping her placenta, please do this, that, and the other. And then I have, well, since I'm not going to show my name, I have 4 copies of my birth plan. I made a whole video talking about my birth plan. If you are interested in what is in my birth plan, you can check that out in this video here. But I have 4 copies, which was something I actually read in the Mom Natural book, and somebody else said from their own experience that because there is often a change in staff once or twice while you're in the hospital, they don't necessarily transfer your birth plan to the next shift. So it's helpful to just have several copies on hand so that you can hand them out if there's a shift change. The other things I have in here are food items, and this is something that I used in my labor with my son. This is something that the midwives introduced me to, you know, the same people that make Cliff Bars. These are Cliff gel shots and it's basically, these are what marathon users use. It's basically, you know, some basic electrolytes and basic nutrients and a little bit of caffeine that can really give you an energy boost, which is really helpful while you are in labor. And I actually really liked these in my 35-hour labor with my son because I didn't necessarily feel like having full-blown food in my stomach, but I needed nutrition and I needed energy, and these were so helpful to me. So I just wanted to have these on hand as well. We have some Lara bars and also these little Noon tabs. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but they're basically just these little tablets that are electrolyte tablets, and they're a lot more natural and way less sugar than things like Powerade, Gatorade, that kind of thing. And you just drop them in water and they fizz and dissolve. I just really want to have these available as my electrolyte drink option while I am in labor. So that's why I have those. Now, another thing that we have on the list of things to grab on the way out is fresh food. Bill is planning on grabbing some like apples, bananas, things like that. Usually because when I'm in labor, I don't want to be having heavy foods. And by the way, the midwife said that up until I get my epidural, I'm allowed to eat. So that's why I'm bringing some snacks, and also just for feeding my husband and my mom and my doula. So yes, when we're walking out the door, my husband will grab some fresh stuff. The next things that I have in here are my labor aids, just in case during transition it's pretty normal to feel nauseous. And so I have my little C-bands here, which are put a pressure point right here on this spot on your wrist, which helps with nausea. And I also have my crystallized, because I just bought it in bulk at the natural food store, but it's crystallized ginger, which can also really soothe an upset stomach. These are the things that I actually use to help me get through morning sickness in all of my pregnancies, and so I just want to have those on hand. I also have this little pouch, and I have 3 essential oils in it, and that's all I have in terms of essential oils. I have my plant therapy lavender, just for helping calm me if I'm feeling anxious or nervous. And I have these 2 for tummy troubles as well, if I'm feeling nauseous during transition, that kind of thing. I have peppermint, and I have my Eden's Garden Digest Ease. I don't think I'm even going to bring my diffuser this time. I'm just going to use the bottle itself as like an inhaler, just to breathe it in if I feel like I need a little something. And I have tennis ball for whichever birth partner is there to help me to massage my sacrum and my low back, which can really help ease the pain of contractions. The half of labor that I will be doing naturally, and the other half with an epidural. So during that first half, I'm still going to need to implement a lot of my natural strategies. So that's what the tennis ball is for. And this I mentioned in my birth plan as well, that I have a TENS unit. This thing can be used to relieve pain during labor. I have this from physical therapy that I've done for my back and my shoulders in the past. So I had it on hand, and I've read that it can be really useful in labor, and so I am bringing this puppy with me, and I'm going to try it and see if it is effective. And that is it in terms of my labor aids, and then the rest is just logistical stuff. I have my trusty DSLR camera in here. I'm probably going to be having like 3 cameras going. The one that I am filming on right now and the tripod that it's on is also going to go in this bag when I am done filming this. But I have my DSLR camera, and my doula Erin is going to use this one to just take photos. This does take video. In fact, I've filmed a lot of my YouTube videos on this camera, but it doesn't have autofocus when you're doing video mode, and I figured that's just too complicated to try to explain to people who have never used a DSLR before. So I'm just having this be the photo camera, and then the one I'm filming on, which is my Sony, and then my dad's Canon G7X, I am also going to be, you know, filming from different angles. I'll probably have one, you know, from the safe up by my shoulder angle that you guys will get to see, and then just for our own purposes I will be filming the business end, if you know what I'm saying. And I just like to have that footage just for my own personal purposes to look back on. I filmed both of my other labors and I have that footage, and I do really like looking back on it sometimes. Like I said in my why I'm birthing in the hospital video, just looking back at it to remind myself what I'm made of, you know. I can just look back at those videos and say, you know what, I'm really badass. And just for our personal memories too, just like this is our children coming into the world. So even if I don't share that footage, we have it for us. So I'll be getting those 2 different angles plus photos. So I have all those, plus I have the chargers that go with them. I also have this Joby tripod. I'm bringing my regular tripod as well, but this one is one of these ones that can just like attach to any surface. You can like wrap it around any surface, and you know, it's just really handy. And I will probably use this for one of my tripods for setting up my cameras. All right, and then I have phone chargers here. And last but not least, this is my placenta kit that the company that is encapsulating my placenta sent me. This is basically a cooler, and it came with instructions. As you can see, it's this like cloth bag, but it's insulated. And so I have inside all of the supplies they sent me and the instructions. They have like very detailed instructions on here for what to do. I just wanted to keep that all in one place. This is what we're doing with the placenta. And they also send you a little label to put on the placenta, which I guess the hospital will give you a container to take it. And they give you these 2 bags to put ice in at the hospital. You just have a nurse fill these up with ice, and it keeps the placenta refrigerated while it's in transport. And if you happen to give birth before 6 p.m., they will actually come and pick it up the same day you give birth. So I'm kind of hoping that will happen so we don't have to store it in the hospital room for too long. So I almost forgot to mention as well, I am bringing my nursing pillow. This is the My Breast Friend nursing pillow, which I did a review of this versus the Boppy nursing pillow. I think I did that a year or 2 ago, and I will try and find that and link that here as well. I'll put all these videos I'm mentioning in the description down below too. In my opinion, this is hands down the best nursing pillow, especially when your baby is so tiny. It fastens around your waist so you don't feel like it's slumping down all the time, and it really supports baby well so you don't get a backache. So I am bringing this along with me. And then last but not least, this is actually an idea that I got from one of my friends who mentioned this in a comment on Facebook that she did with her kids when they were born. But when your older kids come to meet baby for the first time, you have the baby give them a gift just so it makes them feel really special, you know, that they're still so important and still so included, that, oh look, Bam Bam got you a gift. That's what this is. I ordered them a couple things on Amazon, toys that I had been wanting to get them for a while anyway, and I just figured this would be the perfect opportunity. I don't think I'm going to give like any of these toys specifically to one kid or the other, because I think they'll both like these things equally. So it's just going to be to Alex and Sophie. And this is one of these green toys, ferry boats, and it has little cars inside. And I have been looking for a really good toy ferry boat for a long time, because if you guys don't know, we live in Washington State and we have a ton of ferries here, and my son especially loves ferry boats. He loves riding on them, he loves imagining that he's on one, and so he is just going to be so thrilled about this. We have a couple of other toy boats around that Sophie really likes to play with as well, so I think they're both really gonna like this. And then I also got this little Melissa and Doug puzzle. This is a puzzle that I think that is about Sophie's speed now. She's beyond the little, you know, just matching the shapes into the proper shape kind of puzzle, and she seems to be moving on to the more conventional kind of puzzle. So this is just a 12-piece puzzle, and I think that she will like this, and I think Alex will like it too. He's not as into puzzles as Sophie is, but you know, this is something they could do together. And I also got this shape sorter slash clock because as part of our quasi homeschooling that we're doing this year, we're learning time. I just thought this was, you know, such a perfect way to help teach that. And it has all the shapes and the numbers and colors. You know, there's so many ways you can use these things as an educational tool, and they're both really interested in clocks right now. So I thought this was really cute, and it'll be a useful educational tool, and they'll both love it. Those are the gifts that Bam Bam got for his older siblings. And so those will be wrapped up in this box with a bow, waiting for them when they get to the hospital. That is it, you guys. That is everything we are bringing to the hospital. I guess we're not exactly packing light, but I feel like all of the things that we're bringing are very intentional. We're going to use every single thing that we are bringing. So I feel really satisfied with what we got here. So anyway, if you guys found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because probably the next video you guys will see will be that Bam Bam is here. So anyway, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.